What is up, everyone? I'm Ryan Garcia. That is Chris Drew. This is Fireside Yankees, home of the 92-win New York Yankees. There are 2 games left to go in the regular season. The Yankees keep things rolling with another win, this one over the Baltimore Orioles in an 8-4 contest. It looked dicey early in the game. The Yankees got out to an early 2-0 lead. That was immediately countered by the Bash brothers, the 2 towering outfielders for the Yankees. I guess Stanton more of a DH now, that just crushed 2 home runs, made it a 6-3 game. The Yankees never trailed after that. There's a lot to talk about. Giancarlo Stanton's 2 home run night. We're talking about the bullpen, Will Warren, Aaron Judge, the division, all that and more right here. But make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell. If you're in the chat watching live, shoot us any messages, any questions. We'll see if we can get to them. But Chris, after the Yankees victory here over Baltimore, how are you feeling? And in general, man, how you doing today, my friend?
Really good, man. Really good. It's always good when the Yankees win. Again, our streak continues, right? Because I'm going to keep referencing that. Our streak of doing post games continues on wins. And so that's good. Initially, just real quick, getting into the game, this feels like the time of year where Stanton kicks it up a notch, right? And it's funny because when he first got back and was started swinging the bat, he got really hot. In fact, there was one moment where I've got like a week long of screenshots of him hitting 300 because it's like him doing that. It's not something that we're used to seeing. But it feels like this is the week last year that he got really hot against Kansas City. I believe we played in one of the last 2 weeks of the year and then had a really good postseason, obviously, after that. But this is kind of when it happens for him. And he hit a ball really hard yesterday down the line to kind of take the lead, I believe, that bases clearing double. And so he's seeing the ball really well. He had 2 blasts today, dude. The Oppo one, and I thought that he got a third too. So the bat's right. He's seeing the ball really well, and that's really encouraging because it did feel like there for a 2-week period he went pretty cold, Ryan.
Yeah, and the way I look at things right now with Giancarlo Stanton is I think people are so trustworthy of him this time of year that he was slumping, and at least rational people were just
right.
He'll be right. This is what he does.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time.
Yeah, and he did a job today. And you know, to say he set the tone, I think is the right way to put it. Sets the tone in the first inning, kind of piles on Aaron Judge in the 4th inning, and just makes it so that you feel comfortable. And you know, we'll talk about Will Warren a bit. He didn't have his best stuff today. Made 2 bad mistakes during the game, and that really cost him. But the Yankee offense made up for it. And when we're talking about having a young pitcher on the mound, facing someone like Trevor Rogers, who has been unstoppable this year, unhittable, untouchable. This was if I told you Will Warren allows 4 runs in the first 5 innings against Trevor Rogers, I feel like, most people would assume that the Yankees aren't going to win that game, but this offense continues to prove they're capable of overcoming it all. And, something that I highlighted, I was talking with Sam before the game. We talked about this a little bit when me and Sam were talking, like, look at Trevor Rogers' home run to fly ball rates. The Yankees, there's something that's got to give here. The ERA is too low. He's not a bad pitcher. He's not just lucky. I think there's a little bit of luck, but he's a good pitcher. But the Yankees, they're a good offense. They should be able to take the ball out against him, and that's exactly what they did today, and that's exactly what Giancarlo Stanton did today. Chris, before I pass it back to you, I'm just going to acknowledge a super chat here from Jay Station. Thank you so much. And he's saying, I'm worried the Yankees sweep, but still lose out, I'm assuming, on the division. We'll talk about the division in a bit, but that is definitely a concern to have, that the Yankees do not control their own destiny. But I'll say this, if Stanton's hitting the way he's hitting, I think the Yankees are going to do their part in terms of winning the division. Chris, anything you want to add on with Big G and the way he's been hitting?
No, man, it's just nice when he's hitting because it makes the lineup so much more dangerous. And obviously, like, what ends up happening is whoever hits between Judge and Stanton ends up seeing the most hittable pitches out of everybody.
Yeah.
Like that's what that, I mean, because that's like the back end protection and the front end protection, especially for Giancarlo Stanton. So it was nice. And also just another quick note on kind of some of the bats. We were about a 1.5 feet away from 2 other swings resulting in home runs too. Like,
yeah,
the bats are here to play, man. Because well, not just Volpe. I'm talking about Wells and Grisham both just missed home runs foul.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I thought the bats, like, they put together really good at bats. I walk away from this Yankee offense and I go, guys, it is September 26th. We've got 2 games to go. If you can't acknowledge this as the best offense in baseball, or at least a very good offense, you want to say, hey, the regular season numbers are great, but I'll trust the Dodgers, to be the better offense. Sure, I disagree, but that's fine. But if you're not going to acknowledge these guys as an elite group, I don't know what we're doing, right? I think at this point, we're just being a little bit pessimistic to be pessimistic. And I want to also shout out Ben Vargo, who drops a super chat here. Who do you want to see in the first round? And I actually think it's a really good question because, Chris, right now you'd be facing Boston on Tuesday in New York for game 1 of a best-of-3 wildcard series. Who do you want to see in the first round, whether that be wild card or division series?
I think Detroit's the most beatable. Is how I feel. I think I'd want to see Detroit, but honestly, like at this point, dog, like I think we can beat everybody.
Yeah, I think it's tough. It's Aaron Boone said this, and I actually thought this was a very good thing he said. Be careful what you wish for. We played the Tigers in a 3-game set, and they didn't have school ball, and they trounced us.
Yeah.
Baseball's a very random sport. I continue to say baseball's a random sport. The Yankees lost to the Orioles in April when they were at their lowest as a team, and they have beaten them at their hottest in September. So, baseball's a random sport. We don't really know what's going on. It's a weird sport. It's a sport where anything can happen. So I will say my preferred outcomes: Yankees win the divisions, number 1. That's obvious. Number 2, Tigers win out, Astros win out, forcing the Tigers to have to use Scooble on Sunday, and then putting the Tigers in a situation where they do not have Scooble in a best of 3. If you're going to go to the wild card round, which is not something you can determine, it's on the Blue Jays at this point to open the door. The Yankees, I think their best chances of Scooble-less Tigers team versus a Red Sox team that will not care if they're going to Cleveland. In fact, if I'm the Red Sox, I kind of hope I lose 2 straight. Right? Like you kind of hope you go play Cleveland versus the Yankees, no?
Probably. Yes,
right?
probably.
Like, I would rather
I mean, everybody, here's the thing. Like, I don't, this conversation is, I think it's a good combo, but I think we're the team that everybody wants to avoid, or at least we should be.
Yes. I don't think anyone wants to play the Yankees. And very importantly, you don't want to see the Yankees when Fried is around. I think if you're the Red Sox, if the Tigers win out, you might go to Detroit. You might take a flight with them. You might be leaving Boston the same time, same day, and they don't have Scooble. So
yeah.
Red Sox, if I'm a Red Sox fan, I want them to lose out. I want them to lose out. Not saying that they can't beat the Yankees, but your win probability increases playing. Now, granted, it's the same argument, be careful what you wish for. Cleveland maybe just goes Guardians ball on them and drops 50 million infield hits, and it's the ugliest series you've ever seen in your life. But, I do think, again, the Yankees are, as you mentioned, the teams that want to face right now. They're hot at the right time. They've got the firepower. Their aces will be lined up to play in the wild card round regardless. I don't think the Yankees are going to risk throwing Fried on Sunday and losing the wild card series, regardless of how Saturday plays out. So,
I agree.
Yeah, I think that's a good question, Ben. I think it's one of those things where, again, I just trust the Yankees enough to play anybody. But I have a preferred outcome, albeit, again, it's not like if they don't get that outcome, I'm scared.
Right.
I'm scared of just the postseason in general. As we kind of talk about one of the things that scared us, Chris, you've referenced that the bullpen has scared you. And I think every Yankee fan, even today, there are moments where it's like, oh my God, are they going to blow it? Oh my God, what are we doing? But this bullpen, it bent. It did not break. They did walk 5 people today. 5 walks, 6 strikeouts, 1 hit allowed. I think you'll take 5 walks if it's only going to be 1 hit allowed. I was very happy with the bullpen did today. They covered 4 innings. They needed 5 guys to do it, but they were awesome. Chris, anyone specific you want to shout out? I'm imagining there's someone.
My guy's been Duvall for a while. When we traded for Duvall, I felt like he was going to be in the circle of trust. Obviously, his start for the Yankees got off to a really poor start. But, dog, he's been very, very good recently. And the stuff is too nasty for him not to be good long-term, I think. And it was just about, can you trust him this year? That Boston series, you and I had our first grouping of shows. And one of the things that I said is, like, I'm looking for Duvall to start to put it together because this stuff should play. Because my eyes tell me this stuff does play. And we saw the slider kind of increase usage and increase effectiveness. And we've seen him stack good outing after good outing after good outing. And today was his best outing he's had as a Yankee. Struck out the side, 1, 2, 3 strikeouts. And the one I was really impressed with was going down 3-0 to the first hitter. And like, I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, here we go. Some early traffic is going to get hit hard. No, battled back, 3 straight strikes. The swing and miss stuff was really nasty. I mean, he only faced 3 hitters, Ryan, and had 5 swings and misses. And he topped that at 98.5. So just, he is close, really close to my circle of trust. What does he need to do, or is he in your circle of trust, Ryan?
Camilo Duvall is the definition of I need one guy to step up outside of like the Williams, Bednar, Weaver kind of grouping of guys. Duvall. I need somebody to step up. Him. Let's do it. I'll roll the dice. He's a stuff monster. He has the best slider in the bullpen. And I think where you miss Jake Cousins is in the specific context of he had the best slider in the bullpen.
Bingo.
His slider was a true, like, down and away sweeping slider, really good against righties, devastating arm angle, like a swing and miss pitch. You lost that when you lost him. Duvall, the slider shape isn't the same. It's definitely not the same kind of slider. It's less sweepy, a little more velo, not a little more, considerable amount of velo.
Yeah, he threw it at 91 today.
Yeah, but it's a different shape, but the shape is still good horizontal, good against righties.
Correct.
Low, wide arm angle. It's really going to break your mind as a righty.
Do you like it against lefties?
Yes, because of the velo. So
Okay.
I think the fact that it has so much velo for that movement profile, you don't really see 90 with good horizontal. You usually see, like, for breaking ball shapes, it's either plus velo, poor stuff, poor movement, or poor velo plus movement. Like, think of Will Warren's sweeper is like the opposite of, let's say, like an Edwin Diaz slider.
Okay.
Will Warren is slow, big breaking ball. Diaz
Movie.
is sharp, tight, like bullet spin. So for Duvall, it blends in between that. And so I think it's effective against both. And you back foot that. I even think Cousins was so good at this. He would throw it to your back foot as a lefty and he'd get you. And he'd get you he would get you with that pitch. Because if you're a lefty, what you're seeing is breaking ball that you can pull, kind of bring your hands down and crush that pitch. And instead, it's at your feet and you swing and miss. He got Steven Kwan to swing at that.
I was going to say, he got Steven Kwan really, really bad. And my mom still talks about that pitch. She always talks about, like, angels in the outfield, air bending, like moving it over. And it's funny because, like, obviously she's not really like a huge into the social media world of names. But no, I love the Cousins slider. And this bullpen is missing that kind of monster, I guess, in there. Because I thought Jake was really, really good in the postseason last year. But again, Duvall's put it together. And what do you always say, Ryan? You need how long do you need to be hot?
1 month. 1 month. And I actually think this is a really good question here from Yankee stats. How do we set up 7, 8, 9 for the playoffs? I think 8, 9 is Williams Bednar. That's where it is for me. I don't know if you feel differently.
No,
for me,
that's 100% Williams Bednar.
Yeah. 7 for me is the combination of, okay, is it a lot of lefties, a lot of righties? That'll determine Weaver or Cruz for me. If it's righty heavy, I'll go Cruz over Weaver. If it's lefty heavy, I'll go Weaver over Cruz. I think that's where I'm at right now. And then that wild card 6th inning guy that, like, hey, I got a short start for my starter. Who would I need to step up for me today? Camilo Doval. Every single time. I don't know, Chris, what are your thoughts on your trust tree? Like, if you had to rank your guys, where are you at?
I would go right there with you. I'm right there with you. I mean, obviously, like, I really like Cruz. But what Duvall's continuing to do, I mean, I think that if Cam or Luis Gil gives me 5 good innings, I would feel very comfortable going Duvall in the 6th.
And the other thing that's good is Tim Hill. We've seen kind of the Yankees go away from him for a little bit.
Yeah.
They're going back to him, and the results are there. Again, Tim Hill's biggest weakness this year has been if he doesn't get the lefty, you're screwed against the righty. Because no team in baseball, especially in the playoffs where you see more aggressive pinch hitting, is going to allow Tim Hill to face 3 lefties in a row. They will go to their bench unless the lefty at the plate is an elite left-handed hitter who hits lefties and righties, like a Shohei Ohtani, someone like a Juan Soto. Those kinds of guys are going to dominate lefty matchups anyways. You feel comfortable if you're the Mets or the Dodgers putting them in those spots. But in the American League, how many of those guys really exist? I'm trying to think off the top of my head, how many of those guys exist? Man, I don't know. Switch hitters exist. Like those are going to be, but you kind of know that's a righty anyways.
Yeah, and
But Hills, again, you have 6 now. You have 6 guys that if you roll with them, I'm never going to fault Aaron Boone for losing a baseball game because Camilo Doval gave it up in the 6th. I'm not going to fault Aaron Boone for losing a baseball game when Tim Hill gives it up in the 6th with a lefty up as one of the guys he was going to face.
Where does Yarby fit? Where does Yarby fit in for you?
I think Yarbrough's the, like, mop up 2-3 innings. You kind of need somebody to be a miracle man.
Okay.
Like if Cam gets chased in the 2nd, you need a miracle man. You're not throwing Doval there. You need a miracle to win that baseball game. Yarbrough's your miracle. And if he gets messed up, I think he can stay in there and still pitch.
Well, I mean? They got him up today with Tim, didn't they?
I think they did. I think that for Aaron Boone, you're going to have to use Ryan Yarbrough for the year ends. You have to. You just have to.
Well, that's what I thought was happening because we talked about, like, we haven't really seen him too much out of the pen, and he had some time off. And when they got him up with Hill, I mean, they're both lefties, right? And so it's like I guess you don't see that very often. And so for me, I was wondering if they were going to try to get 2 or 3 out of him in that moment.
I think you need to see him before the year ends, because if you don't, you're going to go into the postseason with an unknown, and you don't want that. And not that I think Blackburn isn't going to end up making the playoff roster. I think what they're going to do is he's not going to make it, and they're going to just go a pitcher short in the wild card or DS, and then carry the extra position player so that they can carry either Escara or like both Slater and Dominguez, something of that nature. But again, as we kind of look at this roster right now and this bullpen, we're seeing names step up, and like we're seeing we're seeing a plan, and we haven't had a plan for the bullpen in a while. And I think that's a big factor in their winning.
And a plan that doesn't feel like a boat taped up with duct tape.
It's nothing where it's like, okay, if the Yankees lose baseball games because Brian Cashman's addition of Devin Williams didn't work out in the postseason, I can't sit here and tell you that's on the organization or the manager. That's just the player didn't execute. It's that simple. If you were telling me, like, if you told me in August, like, hey, why are you going to lose? Bullpen. That's what I would tell you. And I still think that's their biggest question mark, but it's becoming less of a question mark. They're tightening up at the right time.
I mean, how many straight scoreless outings is that for them?
I mean, they had all straight scoreless. They had
4.
Sunday was scoreless. Sunday against the Orioles was scoreless. Saturday, the day before.
Their last series, they swept scoreless with the bullpen. The bullpen did not allow a run last series.
Did Cruz not allow a run?
No.
Was it unearned? I think somebody allowed a run on the Friday night loss. I could be wrong, but that's like one run. That is quite literally one run. I can check right now their last 7.
Yeah.
That doesn't include today, but I can check their last 7. But like, this group's been incredible over the last 7 days. Last 7 days, they've allowed a grand total of 1 earned run.
Yeah.
That's not accounting today.
Oh, and you will take that.
It's 26% strikeout, 10.3% walk. That's a fine ratio considering no home runs allowed.
Yeah.
And 1 barrel allowed. Like, you'll take that. I think if you're not going to allow barrels and you walk people, that's fine. Because 10% isn't killing you. Today was too much.
When we talk about like enjoyability, it's just more enjoyable when the bullpen's not giving up runs.
For sure. The way I look at it is, again, like, if you're the Yankee bullpen, you need to do 1 of 2 things for me. You need to either be pounding the zone, getting ahead, keeping runners off base, or you're going to be strategically walking guys. I didn't think there were strategic walks today. I think they were just not executing. Like, Bednar walked Holiday to start the 9th, and it's like, come on, man. Mark Leiter Jr. missed a couple of pitches too. Like, I would say the guy who frustrated me the most the walks today was Mark Leiter Jr. But I think, again, we look at like the trust tree. He's not in the 6, and that's good. He's the 7. He's you're down 5 and it's the 9th inning, or you're up 6 and it's the 9th inning. That's what he is. And that's fine. And that he's better at that than, a lot of other guys we've had there. We've had JT Brubaker. I think he's better than JT Brubaker. Not a high bar. JT. Yeah, shout out JT, but it's not a high bar. I feel bad because I think if he didn't get hurt so much, he would have been a solid Yankee, but he got hurt so much.
JT and I went to school together.
Mm-hmm.
We both went to Akron at the same time.
Hey, JT Brubaker is going to be a free agent. So he was in the big leagues long enough to be a free agent. That in and of itself is a win. He might be a 10-year He might be a 10 service year guy.
Is he really?
He's going to be at 6.
Wow.
So he's just got to play 4 more. He's really just got to have 1 year where he's good enough to keep getting rostered. I don't know if he'll get there, but that's just a fun fact of like, he might get there somehow. And that's hilarious. Got to free agency. That's a win. He's going to make $1 million.
Yeah, I guess I didn't realize he was in San Fran right now.
Yeah. I don't know how he's doing over there, but he's there right now.
4.26 ERA.
That's going to get you signed. You're not going to like fall out of baseball to 4.26.
Yeah, 0.1 WAR.
Like on the year 3, like he's got a 2.97 FIP. He's going to get signed by a team.
Yeah.
We don't have
to make this about JT. Point being,
this is the JT Brubaker podcast.
Welcome to the JT Brubaker show. Point being, I feel a lot better about this unit than I did before, and I feel like they look good at the right time.
Yeah, I agree. And kind of moving to a player who I don't think has finished his year strong, but I do think in terms of Will Warren this year, I saw a lot of people go like, this guy sucks, shouldn't be on the roster next year. This was his 2023 Clark Schmidt year. That's what this was. Lots of innings, lots of starts, rookie, inexperienced, not a great track record as a starter beforehand. I thought Will Warren he made 2 mistakes today. And the O'Neill one wasn't that bad, but he made one big mistake today, and that's what cost him. You know what I mean? Like, it was one pitch. He made one really bad pitch today.
What, the sweeper?
Yeah, he made one bad pitch, and I think that was his start. I am fine. If you told me Will Warren's going to give me a 4.44 ERA and make 33 starts as your 5 starter, I'd be like, all right, cool. Sure. I'll take it. Like, far from the worst year possible. Clark Schmidt, for example, he put up a 4.64 in 23, 32 starts, 1 relief appearance with 33 outings.
And then he went 2.85 in 24?
And then, 25, he pitched to a 3.2, I think. Point is, in his next 30 starts, he pitched like a number 2, number 3 pitcher. How do you feel about his rookie year?
I thought it was a success, man. Like, not everybody can be like the superstar monsters. And, he's a guy that, like, I like that I know the stuff is in there. Like, I know the stuff is good enough for him to be a starter. I mean, he had that stretch where he was, at like 30% K rate. Like, he was up there with the top dogs in strikeout percentage. That number, I believe, went down as the year went on. But no, I feel good about Will Warren. And I think the thing that's really identifiable with Will Warren is that we know what the best version is. And the best version is the one that the fastball is a little harder. And now we can spend a whole offseason when we know that that's the thing that matters. We can figure out how to unlock that more and more and more. And then with an extra year of strength, we hope that fastball ticks up a little bit more. And we've seen the Yankees also operate where they're able to improve fastballs over time. So I think Will Warren projects fantastic the next year. I think this year, if I had to grade him, I'd give him a B or a B minus. But he ate a ton of innings. He made a ton of starts. He stayed healthy. And every game he pitched in, you felt like you at least had a shot because you knew the strikeout stuff was there. So, and also we saw him get roughed up early some games, and then we saw him settle in and give us innings. Like the Boston start, roughed up, and then didn't allow a run the rest of his start. And we've seen other guys like crumble at times. So I because I know the stuff is in there and because I know it's good enough to play, I feel good because there will be a very clear plan because now Matt Blake and the pitching staff knows exactly what works for Will Warren in the majors, and they're going to have a year to develop it. And I think that's perfect.
Look, he finished the year with an above-average FIP, an above-average expected FIP, and an ERA 9 percentage points worse than league average. He was a pitcher who was, objectively speaking, not very fortunate. Right. And, I think he was a league average starter talent-wise this year. That's fine. That's a fine rookie year. Again, I have seen guys stink way worse and figure it out. I'm going to point to a couple of examples. Look at Jonah Tong right now. Mm-hmm. If you want to tell me Jonah Tong sucks because of his early career, I think you're jumping the gun. Who was it for the Reds? Was it Rhett Lauder? Was that his name? Rhett? Is that who it is?
I think in terms of like was not very good, then got really good.
He got crushed. No, not guys who got really good. He hasn't gotten really good yet.
Got crushed for so far.
Yeah. Even if you want to look at I'm not comparing him to Hunter Green. He's not going to be Hunter Green, but Hunter Green was not a frontline starter in year 1. He put up a ERA of 4.62 in his first 46 starts.
I mean, shoot, if you want to talk about it, like Chase Burns' ERA on the year is 4.75.
Right. It's going to take time for pitchers. And I know people are going to point to age. Age, to me, doesn't matter as much as innings pitched. Like, Schmidt was 27 when he got his first big league win. So, again, Will Warren could end up not being a great starter. That's more than realistic. But if Will Warren is a solid number 3, number 4 starter, that's a win, in my opinion. I think you take that and you go, what was it, 7th or 8th round pick? Mm-hmm. Turns to a 3-4 starter on a competitive team. Like, that's really good. And again, this year was a number 5 starter on a team that can win the World Series. That was not what everyone thought was his median outcome coming out of spring training, especially after last year too.
Do you think it's more likely that he moves to the pen next year or that they deal him?
I think trade is more likely because I would love to see them try him out in the bullpen if they have rotation surpluses. Also because I don't love the idea of depleting your surplus in the rotation because you're going to probably lose people to injuries, and that's the scary, unfortunate, sad reality of it.
Well, it feels like the surplus is going to be a super surplus at some point next year.
Yeah, you might have at some point LaGrange, Hess, Cruz, Schlittler, Cole, Rodon, Fried, Schmidt might come back next year. Warren, Heel, like you might have, potentially upwards of like 10 starters. You don't know if you sign anyone in free agency, like a Ryan Yarbrough. You might end up having like close to 10 starters who can help you. That's a good thing. You're going to assume that like 3 or 4 of those guys are going to go down with injuries at some point during the year, or in the case of Cole and Schmidt, are not going to open the year with the team. Schmidt more like mid-season.
I don't think you mentioned Heel in that list too.
I think I don't know if I did, but I he's on that list of like guys who are going to be here next year. Again, for Warren, I think again he showed he's competitive. We'll see how it translates into 2026 as a reliever, as a starter. I think again it's kind of I really wanted to see him in the bullpen in the regular season if they're going to do it in the postseason, because I think he's going to have to come out the bullpen in the postseason, and I think he would have done pretty well in that role. But we will see. That's going to be like a pressure. Like we're going to figure out where he ranks in our trust tree in the biggest games of the year. So that's kind of
terrifying.
Yeah, that's absolutely terrifying. That's scary as hell. But also, you have 6 guys you might go to before him. So, like, is he going to be a guy that you can use if like Heel gets knocked down the second? And like that you can kind of bridge it with Yarbrough. Sam and I were talking about this. Like, would you even consider using like a Heel, like Yarbrough, Warren, like bullpen pod game, like combination of 2 of those 3 guys? We'll see how things shake out. I think that's where we're at right now.
I wouldn't mind that, actually. I think that's a good idea.
You just kind of like know, like you kind of know that you're going to need arms in game 4 of a best of 7 if you get there.
Right. Like the bullpen, that's a good idea.
We'll see how it works. I just think you want to see Warren with like an opportunity to uptick the velo, because I think that is a version of Warren that can really help you.
Well, no, we now have enough data to know that when that fastball is up a little bit, the strikeout rate goes through the roof, and it becomes a lot different because that fastball is a different kind of fastball. Correct?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yes,
it's a different fastball.
It's the release point, the shape, it's abnormal for the release height. So that's what makes you kind of excited about Will Warren. And again, we kind of saw this with Schmidt. Schmidt didn't have the velo in 23 that he had in 24.
Right.
And like Schmidt wasn't a thin, like Warren clearly could add some weight, I think. I think Warren, he's it's funny. I call like ERC like Hispanic Will Warren. If you like invert you invert the velo. It's funny. He's like the inverse of the velocity shape thing.
Yeah.
Warren better shape, ERC better velo. But
I like ERC shape a lot. I don't know how. I don't think
it's good shape. I prefer ERC's combination of shape of velo versus Warren for starters, just because of damage prevention. I think velo matters for that. But for Clark Schmidt, 2024 sits 94.3 on the sinker, 92.4 on the cutter. 2023, 91.3 on the cutter, 93.4 on the sinker. So added a mile per hour velocity on both pitches. And even in his year, this year, where it kind of looked like he was clearly pitching through things, 4-seamer 94.2, cutter 92.2, 96, sinker 92.6. So throwing harder fixed a lot of his issues. And it wasn't a massive jump. It was a slight jump. It just made him harder to barrel up. You just need to throw hard to not get barreled up. So for Warren, if it's instead of 93, it's 94, he's going to be a really good pitcher, I think. You got any final thoughts on Will Warren as he wrapped up his 2025 regular season?
I don't. Just I'm happy about the innings. I'm happy.
Yeah, and David said, and David Lawrence, I want to shout this out here. If Warren can sit 95, it's going to be nasty. I don't think he'll ever sit 95, but I think 94 is that happy medium. I think 94 is that happy medium. And if it doesn't work as a starter, I think he can do 95 in the bullpen. I think that can happen. So for the Yankees, there's some versatility here. There's a fallback if it doesn't work as a starter. There are things they can do with him and I think that's going to keep the Yankees, and I think the fan base should be still in on Will Warren, and a thumbs up. Not like double thumbs up, oh my God, superstar, but hey, pretty good stuff.
Bingo.
Now, do you want to move on to Aaron Judge? Because I believe
I do want to move on to Aaron Judge, but before I do, I just want to give Cortisone Shot Volpe a ton of credit because he didn't walk away with any hits today, but he had 2 balls hit over 100 miles per hour. Both of them were outs.
He hit the ball hard today. He hit the ball hard today, man.
Yeah, he hit the ball really hard today. And one of them would have been a home run in just one stadium. I guess, let me look. It would have been the one hit he had would have been a home run in only Progressive Field. Shout out Cleveland.
Wow.
Yeah, which is I don't see that very often. But he had 2 balls hit over 100 miles per hour. Both of them, the expected XBA 540, 560. Neither of them ended up being a hit. Go ahead. Talk about Aaron Judge, who hit what is that, number 53 or 52?
52. And I'll say this, man. Look, we talk about MVP stuff. And again, I understand. I don't think it's a good argument. I don't. But I know the argument's being made against him. If you're making the argument that Aaron Judge should win MVP, because if you took Aaron Judge off the Yankees, it wouldn't be as big of a loss as if you took Cal Raleigh off the Mariners. Look at what he did today.
Bingo.
Look at what he has done this season. He shifted the game. He changed the game, flipped it on its head. Oh, it's 3-2 Orioles? No. 4-3 Yankees. They never looked back. This entire stretch, this month of September, again, not in accounting. I feel like every time we stream at this point, we talk about his September stats. And it's like, by the way, it's not even accounting for the game he had today where he was dominant. Aaron Judge, since the month of September started, where the Yankees have really gained steam in the division and have become a premium World Series threat, 371 average, 540 on base, 743 slug, 239 WRC plus. It doesn't get better than that. 204 WRC plus, 0.1 wins away from a 10 WAR season. He's really, you know what he is? He's a OAA saying, hey, here's an extra run. You made a good play today. Here's an extra run away from him being a 10-win player. Best player on the planet. That's what I have to say.
And like this run at the division, it was him that put everybody in the book bag and said, let's go.
Again, the Yankees did not have a red-hot Giancarlo Stanton in this month of September.
Correct.
Belly hadn't been red-hot. Jazz wasn't red-hot. Rice was hot. Wells was hot. Those guys were red-hot. But that's it. And those are also catchers, which means they cannot play every day.
I mean, look, like we talked about Cody Bellinger as the Robin to the Batman. And he hit 230 with a 702 OPS in September. And yet this team made up a ton of ground because of one person.
Aaron Judge said, no. Crown on my head. Let's go. Let's go do something. The Yankees, and I hear people talk about like, well, look at Cal Raleigh's big home runs. And like, I'm not saying Cal Raleigh is like a poor player in big situations. That's not the suggestion here. But if you want to look at win probability added, which is a metric that does take into account leverage, Aaron Judge is second in baseball. And it's the cumulative stat too. So if you miss games, you cannot increase it because it's a volume stat. First in the AL, second in baseball at plus 5.47. He has been everything for the Yankees. That's only an offensive stat. I understand. It does not factor in defense. But that man has put your team on your back. He is the best player in baseball. And I think, and I could be wrong. Are you smelling that October? Are you smelling that this is the October? It feels like it is.
This feels like the breakthrough October. I mean, he's got a 1,300 OPS this month, Brian.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
That's disgusting.
That's insane. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, good enough for his best full month. I mean, I know like in March only had 3 games and the OPS was 2,400. So we kind of discard that when we talk about it. But this was like his best full month, and he had months where he hit 400.
And it's just like
in April, Ryan, he hit 400 and his OPS this month is higher.
He's just an incredible player. He is an incredible player, and I just think like Aaron Judge, just cap off, just hat off, tip the cap. It doesn't get better than him. It is never going to get better. You're never going to see a hitter this good in your lifetime again, potentially. You will never see better than this. Ever.
And again, like we talk about the month thing. Last playoffs, Jazz and Judge and Wells were both cold, and Verdugo was in the lineup.
Yeah.
This year, the chances that Judge, Jazz, Belly, Grisham are all cold at the same time, very low.
It just, to me at least, you cannot put a cap on a team like the Yankees if they're capable of getting hot at the right time with Aaron Judge hitting the way he's hitting. If Aaron Judge hits the way he's hitting, you can't put a cap on their
Yeah,
ceiling.
here we go. And Ben Rice. I forgot, Rizzo was on the team last year, and we didn't hit a home run since the summertime from that first base position. Ben Rice is playing out of his mind. What are his splits this month, dog?
I'm pretty sure he's hitting like well this month. I just don't know how well.
Yeah, I mean, he had like what? Yeah, he had a ridiculous month. 1 sec, I'll look.
I got it here if you need it.
I think I want to just look at it so I can be shocked.
Yeah,
I'll let on my other channel, before we linked up, Ryan, I did a Ben Rice video, and I got a whole bunch of hate comments talking about, you're talking about him like he's a star.
He is.
And it was before the season. It was like, I mean, he hit under 200 last year. It's going to be bad again. All right, September, 319, 347, 528, 875 OPS. That's really freaking elite. It feels higher than that, just so you know.
His zone contact rate is like nearly 90%.
Is it really?
His swinging strike rate is under 9% this year.
Dude, he's a freaking superstar, man. And like,
if him and Judge are hot and that's at the top of that lineup, gonna be hard to beat, man. Gonna be hard to beat this offense the way they're playing. And I don't want to hear, oh, it's because they're beating up on bad teams. Trevor Rogers has been mowing down everyone he's faced.
Yeah.
And the Yankees beat the brakes off of him. They beat the brakes off of him. That's what they did.
Dude,
again, what's up?
Ben Rice, I think, just moved in the 98th percentile of ex-Woba, because last time I looked, I thought he was like 94th.
98th is beautiful. I love that number.
He's in 98%, bro. If you look at I haven't looked at his baseball savant page probably like a week and a half since he had like the crazy run. There's no blue on it anymore. Like there's not even any gray. It's all red.
66th percentile, I think, whiff rate. Ridiculous.
Yeah,
the hits the ball as hard as
it's up to 69th percentile.
You know who has the lowest whiff rate among batters with a barrel percentage of at least 15%? It's not Juan Soto anymore.
Oh, I was going to say Juan Soto. Is it Ben? Oh, good heavens.
He is the king of contact and power this year in terms of batted ball data and contact rate. That's him.
He's unbelievable.
He just is. And it's crazy because him and Grisham have kind of had the same molds of like lots of contact, lots of power. It's a mold that works for this team, man. It's a mold. Yeah. I mean, it just works in general. It's not just for this team, but it makes them scary because they make a lot of contact and they hit the ball really hard. And when you put a lot of, it's like the Yankees have a lot of lottery tickets for home runs, and that's why they hit so many. And I think so. The Yankees this year as a team, after hitting 3 today, shout out Judge and Stan again.
Hey, that second one by Stan, by the way. What a blast.
Dude, that ball's so gone. Like that ball was 451.
Yeah, 450.
The Yankees have a chance to go into the 270 home run club. They're at 269 right now. They're 29 home runs better than anybody else. In terms of weighted runs created plus, they're 6 points better than anybody else. In terms of OPS, their team OPS 787. They're nearly 20 points better than anybody else. Like it's crazy where they're at as an offense. They hit better than anybody else. And they're sneakily tied for top 10 spot in batting average. So they're just a well-rounded group. You have the batting champion, you have a bunch of power guys. It's what this group does. And Stanton, who would have had 40 home runs if he didn't get hurt this year.
Ryan, I have something for you now. I try to keep up with this. Ben Rice, I believe, is now the only hitter in baseball that is above league average in every batted ball category.
That's beautiful.
Vladdy's sweet spot is now in the 41st percentile. So Ben Rice is the one I've seen that has all red across the board. Now, again, like I don't know how to filter it out, but I'll keep looking and looking. But he's the only one that I've seen now that is above league average in every batted ball category.
He's just on one. He's on one, and I think it's reflective of the player he is. And I'm very proud of what he's become, and I'm proud of this team and this offense again. And with this offense surging, they've pushed themselves to still being tied with the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays have won 2 straight. The Yankees have not let the Blue Jays gain any ground in those 2 games. We've got 2 to play. Ball's in Toronto's court. That's the reality of it. Like the ball is in Toronto's court. But with that being said, I think like the Yankees, all they can control is what they do. And man, if you sweep, you just put pressure on Toronto, right? You just keep putting pressure on them and see what happens.
I agree, man. And honestly, like today was the game I thought that if they were going to drop one and kind of, okay, like we are a wild card team now, I thought today was going to be the day. It ended up not being the case. There was some loud swings in there to get it done. And I wasn't super impressed with Toronto. And now after we get off this live, I'm gonna go back and rewatch the full game just to kind of get a better feel for it. But it looks and seems like Toronto's feeling at least some sort of pressure. Now they didn't end up getting it done, but their bats are not as hot as they were when they went on the run to catch the Yankees. So we'll see. I mean, I'm starting to see and feel that potential buy, I guess, Ryan. And I do feel like I would not be shocked if this Yankee team won the last two. And if you're going to win the last two, I would want you to get the division on top of that.
Yeah, look, the way that the Yankees are playing right now and the way that the Blue Jays are playing right now, you just hope that the Blue Jays slip one more time. You have to hope the Blue Jays slip one more time and that you keep the gas on the pedal. But again, you have to control what you can control, and that's the games in front of you. Tomorrow it's Cam Schlittler versus Tomoyuki Sagano. You feel like the Yankees have the pitching advantage. But as we saw today with the Orioles, who had the pitching advantage, it comes down to how you actually play. If your offense steps up, doesn't matter who's on the mound, you're going to win the game. And if the bullpen's pitching the way it's pitched, you're going to win the game. And the last thing I'd like to point out here, if the Yankees, if the Rays just get one, I think the Yankees win the division. That's where I'm at right now. We'll see how that changes. We'll see how tomorrow looks. We'll see all that stuff.
Who do the Rays have going tomorrow?
They have Joe Boyle. So,
okay.
Kind of like he's a stuff monster. Your definition of like when he's on, when he's not. Like it's not good. No, it's bueno.
Because he threw against, he's like 6'6", and like the fastball looks disgusting.
Dude, he had a stretch where he was like untouchable. Where like the Rays, like he would pitch and the Rays would just win. And I will say last two starts, Toronto, 6 innings, 5 strikeouts, 4 hits, no walks, no runs. Boston, 9 strikeouts, 4 walks, 1 earned run, 4 1/3. He had really the ERA lifters he had 3 straight starts where he gave up 15 runs in 9 1/3 innings pitched.
Mm-hmm.
It's been 3 bad, and then everything else has been really good. The Yankees did get to him in New York, but we'll see. We'll see if Joe Boyle can just give them something. And on the Blue Jay side, it's Trey Savage. And, Trey Savage, I think, is a good pitcher. I think he will become a very good pitcher. He's a very unique, weird pitcher, and I like weird. But he did have a stinker his last time out. Now, he did kill the Rays the first time they faced off. 5 innings, 9 strikeouts, 2 walks. But that's kind of the key here. 5 innings, 4 innings. It's been 20 batters faced. A lot of pressure on that Blue Jay bullpen. We'll see again. Can Joe Boyle just keep it close, and can the battle of the bullpens go to the Rays? I think that's the way the Rays are going to win this game. I don't think it's going to be oh, man, they just beat the brakes off the Blue Jays. The Rays are not that team. They're not going to beat the brakes off anybody. Kind of got to hope they squeak one out. That's where I think I'm at here. I don't know how you feel about,
It's kind of where I'm at too. I'll put my Joe Boyle jersey on tomorrow.
Yeah. I think I need, Joe Boyle, give me one. I think the Yankees just need the Rays to win one.
Yeah.
I think that's what they need. Granted, Sunday's scary because Bradish, heel, not great.
Yeah, I mean, clear advantage Bradish on that one.
So, I'd even go as far as say, like, it's going to come down to Sunday. I think it's going to come down to Sunday. Sunday is when we figure it out. Sunday is when we figure out what happens. Although, I will warn Yankee fans, you can lose the division tomorrow. Blue Jays can clinch if the Yankees lose and the Blue Jays win. So, we are in must-win territory tomorrow. The Blue Jays aren't necessarily in must-win territory because they can lose Saturday, we can win tomorrow, and the division's not over. So, for the Blue Jays, I think in their minds, they're feeling the same thing we're feeling, right? They're probably feeling it more than we're feeling the whole, if we just drop one, they should win the division.
Mm-hmm.
Because they just have to win one of their last 2. But we'll see how they respond. We'll see how these 2 teams play. And there's that. Now, I will just give a quick standings update across the league. The Boston Red Sox just punched their ticket to October with a walk-off victory, a comeback victory against the Tigers. Cleveland lost as well, so that division remains tied at 86 wins. The Tigers do not have the tiebreaker, so Cleveland would win the division. Tigers would go on to be the 3 seed. The Astros are currently winning right now, or last time I checked, they were winning. They are up 3-1 against the Angels in Los Angeles. They do not have the tiebreaker over the Tigers, but they can tie the Tigers tonight. So if they tie the Tigers, they share the 3rd wild card, but the Tigers would win it if it was a tie. In the National League, the Mariners division's over. Like the only thing to worry about is whether they're going to be the 1 or the 2 seed. They don't have the tiebreaker against us. So if we match them, we're good. If we win tomorrow, we guarantee that they cannot pass us in the AL standings. In the National League, the Reds just took back their playoff spot. The Mets lost. The Reds won. So the Cincinnati Reds currently have the tiebreaker. They are in the postseason. The Mets are out of the postseason, do not control their destiny with 2 to play. Diamondbacks are leading. They're 2 back. They will, oh no, they're trailing. Never mind. Nope, I take that back. Padres are up 5-2. Their season might be over. That's the only playoff races that are open. Every other division's tied up except the AL East and the AL Central. So, yeah, if you're a Met fan, sorry. Not really, but sorry.
Well, if you're a Met fan, why are you here?
Right. If you're a Reds fan, same question. Why are you here? But good for you, I guess.
Well, you know, I have a good amount of just Reds fans that I talk to that I hope will pop in every now and again. You know,
that's a good point. I didn't even think. I forget they're in Ohio. I really. That sounds so disrespectful. I'm not great with geography.
What? You're good. It's just funny because like Ohio teams are so good against the Mets.
Yes,
like the Reds took care of the Mets and so did the Guardians.
Yeah. So if you're a Reds fan, hey, you win 2 more. If you win, I think if the Reds win tomorrow, the Mets lose tomorrow, the Mets season is over. Because they will be a game back. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So here's the one thing I will be grateful for if the Yankees, and you know what? Ben's right. I'm a Rangers fan and I'm here. That's a great point, Ben. It's a great
shout out Big Ben Vargo.
Yes, sir. Is that? I thought it was a Texas jersey. That's why I did this, but I'm blind. So.
Oh no, that's Ohio State Ben. He's coming up from Texas to come to a live show that me and Zach are doing for Menace.
I love that.
Yeah, dude, that's my guy.
That's sick. Let's go, man.
It's my dog.
But yeah, I mean, at least the one thing I'll be grateful for: the Yankees are not playing for their playoff lives. They're playing for a bye.
Seeding.
Right. So if you can go to, you know, if you're a Yankee fan, you're nervous, and I'm nervous. You can go to bed at least knowing. You got a playoff spot. You got a chance.
Bingo.
You're gonna have a chance. You're gonna get to dance in October. We'll see how long you get to dance for, but you get to dance a little bit. But yeah, with that being said, Chris, is there anything you want to add before we leave?
Josh Naylor just became the 4th first baseman in MLB history, I believe, to have 20 home runs and 30 steals in one season.
He has 30 stolen bases.
Yeah.
Wow. Shout out Josh Naylor, man. Great. Wow. Good for him.
They called him fat and slow in Cleveland, man. That's why they traded him.
They could use him.
That's all I got. I just saw the ticker come up across the screen. He stole a base, and it was just funny.
Did not know that. That's incredible. Well, with that being said, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Really appreciate you guys checking out the Fireside Yankees post-game show. Thank you again. If you're watching, whether on Twitter or YouTube, make sure to check us out on those platforms. If you're on Twitter, come over to the YouTube page, subscribe, turn on that like button, and leave a comment letting us know how you feel about the Yankees and their chances of winning the division. Finally, make sure to check us out on our social media pages, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Again, this YouTube page as well, all under the handle at Fireside Yankees. We have a website, empiresportsmedia.com, and our personal Twitter accounts. They're no longer above our heads, but I'm at Ryan Garcia ESM on Twitter, and Chris is at Christopher Drew _ on Twitter. Chris with a KKRIS, and the rest of it is spelled like Christopher. So.
Yeah, easy to find. I think we're easy to find. So.
I was going to say it's KRIS, tougher, but I was like, that's
tougher. No, that's it. Tougher. Chris.
Yeah.
Tougher.
All right. Well, thank you guys again for tuning in. Let's go, Yanks. We got 2 to play, 2 shows to do into the postseason. Peace out, everyone. Have a great rest of your day.